Brooke Houts, or should we call her the dog girl, because that is what she's forever going to be known as now. So if you've not seen, there's a video going around on social media. I'm not going to play in this video because it is incredibly upsetting, where this girl who uses, I think it's a Doberman in quite a lot of her videos, it's a dog for those that don't know, she uses this Doberman, and she unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, left in this clip, this uncut footage, where she isn't very nice to the dog. Now, I'd like to use far stronger words, but I'm just not going to be able to because of the system and what it's going to be able to pick up. But today we're going to be looking at, I can't remember her name, we're going to call her the dog girl. We're going to look at the dog girl's response to this, because it's one of the worst things I think I've ever seen. So she's responded with this quite lengthy statement, so I'll read it all. We'll read each bit and then we'll expose it for what it truly is, because it is just a complete and utter shambles, the entire statement. To everyone who has been commenting on my social media as of recently, anything I say isn't going to make those who believe I'm a bad person stop believing that, and I'm aware of this. I apologise to anyone who has been affected negatively by the footage. Well, that's everybody. Everybody's been affected by this. Now, even when Logan Paul did his thing, I'm still not sure the backlash was quite as big as this, because we're talking about an animal here that can't defend itself, that you have done things to that should never happen to any animal. And those people that do believe you're a bad person, well, you can't really blame them, can you? You can't blame them, Brooke, because the footage you showed in that video, I think anyone would come to the reasonable conclusion you're not just a bad person, but a terrible one. First off, I want to address the uncut footage. On the day in particular that the video was filmed, and actually this past week, things in my outside life have been less than exceptional. I'm not going to play the victim card or any of that sort, but I do want to point out that I am rarely as upset as what was shown in the footage. I don't even know, maybe 10 seconds ago when you said that you're not going to play the victim card, followed by the next sentence, which was playing the victim card. I don't care how bad your life has been. I do not care what has gone on. You don't act like that, because A, that is a criminal offence, and B, that is just absolutely disgusting. Absolutely nothing can justify those actions. The bubbly, happy-go-lucky Brooke that you often see in my videos is typically an accurate representation of me, but it's obvious that I'm playing up my mood in this video when I'm clearly actually frustrated. Yes, it would appear you were frustrated. It would also appear you took that frustration out on an innocent dog. You took that frustration out on your dog that you're supposed to love and care for. And that dog, I feel incredibly sorry for. So, can I just point out that the starting of this statement, the first few paragraphs are basically saying how bad my life is, please feel sorry for me. What I'm about to say, just remember the first bit, because you should all feel sorry for me. Well, we shouldn't, and we're not going to. That being said, this does not justify me yelling at my dog in the way that I did, and I'm fully aware of that. Should I have gotten as angry as I did in the video? No. Should I have raised my voice and yelled at him? No. We're getting somewhere. She's accepting responsibility. Let's hope that she doesn't backtrack, because that'd be pretty bad, wouldn't it? But the next word starts with it starts with however. However, when my 75-pound Doberman is jumping up in my face with his mouth open, I do, as a dog parent, have to show him that this behaviour is unacceptable. Yes, you can show him that this behaviour is unacceptable. I've seen the footage. I'm not entirely sure he was jumping up with his mouth open, but even if that was the case, yes, you can show him discipline. You can say that, whatever, you don't have to put yourself in a situation where you were hurting the dog. My dog in no way, shape or form was hurt by any action that I displayed in this video. I know people are going to say you didn't know how he really feels, and this is true, but if he was audibly and physically in pain, it would be a different story. Animals are very good at hiding pain, you know, and that is true. You will never really truly know what that dog was feeling. And it might have not been feeling physical pain, but I'm almost sure that it was feeling scared. And then to put some context behind the next bit, at one point the dog seems to be shoved to the floor, or is on the floor, however you want to put it, and it does appear, that she spits on the dog. I also did not spit on my dog, but I understand how it could look like I did. Or what was it then? Or what was it? Because if you go to spit, I'm not sure what other action it could be. My family and I are in the process of getting him training. The training that I've been looking at for him is very expensive. Well, it might be very expensive. Dogs Warning, newsflash, dogs are very expensive, okay? They are. If you can't afford one, A, don't get one. There is no B, C, D. Just don't get one if you can't afford one. It might be upsetting you can't afford one, but it's only fair on the dog, okay? If you can't look after the dog, then just don't get one. And that includes everything. That's not just food. That's not just healthcare. That includes training. Because all dogs, in my opinion, need to be trained. Unless you yourself are a very reputable trainer of dogs, then you need training for your dog, because a dog is a wild animal. It is. A dog needs to be trained. And without training, it puts itself, other dogs, and other people's lives at risk. So training, in my opinion, should be compulsory. And that opinion is compounded when you consider this dog is huge. This is a 75-pound dog. This is not a Chihuahua that's going to cause very little damage, even if it goes a little bit off the rails. That could cause severe damage. And I'm not talking from a place where I don't know what I'm talking about. Around 3 years ago, we got a golden retriever called Rocky, and he's absolutely huge. He's bigger than this Doberman. He weighs more. I'm not entirely sure what it is in pounds, but he's around 7 to 8 stone. And yes, he is maybe slightly overweight, but he's a very happy dog, a dog that we cherish and look after. So I know what I'm talking about, especially when I'm talking about big dogs. He sticks to me like Velcro if he's in the presence of another dog, even a little Chihuahua. I just can't see him getting what he needs from a group training environment. Well, you've not tried. Try, you know? Try. You can't make excuses before you've tried, otherwise you haven't, by definition, tried, have you? You have made up a scenario in which you don't want your dog to get training. You want to not be able to get training because you're saying it's too expensive for you. So you're going to say, oh, he can't go to this normal group on either because he doesn't like other dogs. That might be true. You haven't tried. Just try. Now you admittedly know your dog better than me and better than everybody else. But with the way you treat it, I'm not entirely sure that is even true. That being said, I know I personally can learn more effective techniques to get his energy out and keep him disciplined as well. Like taking him on a walk, a long walk. It's a big dog, it needs a lot of exercise. It does. My dog gets around 2 hours of exercise, 2 hours of a walk a day, which is a lot of time. That's a lot of time out of your day to be walking a dog. But if you don't want to be doing that, don't get a dog. Or get a smaller one if you don't want to be walking as much. It's all well and good saying, oh, look at my brand new dog, look at my brand new dog, oh, he's so cute. Yeah, it is. Those dogs go up to be almost as big as you. So you better give them some exercise, otherwise they're going to turn back into a dog, you know, like a wild animal, which it is. Anyone who knows me personally knows I have an immense love for animals, including my own. I would never do anything to purposely physically or mentally harm any animal. Well, that's just a lie. It's just a lie. Now, usually in these videos, I usually say the word allegedly, or perhaps or maybe to try and cover myself. It's not often we get video footage. There's no doubt. You did physically harm that dog. Anyone who goes to watch that footage will say you physically harmed that dog. I'm not entirely sure there is another opinion to be had. Like usually in these videos, I give one side and another side. I say my opinion, say, but this might be the case as well. I'm struggling to give another side. Family or friends have spent any amount of time with Sphinx, I'm guessing that's the name of the dog, and me know that we have a trusting, loving relationship. Well, you did. It's not going to trust you now. All you want to do is be by my side, cuddle with me and be around me, which I love. My love for him is exponential and infinite. Just because you're using some fancy words now, it's like back in year 6 when I started using fancy words and I was talking about the wrong thing. Fancy words don't make it any better. Just apologise and leave it at that. Excuses don't need to be a part of an apology. A lot of YouTubers could take that advice because every single YouTube apology I think I've ever seen has some sort of justification for what they've done. About my Twitter, I deactivated my account earlier in the day. When I went to open it, I was met with an excess of notifications of people telling me that I'm messed up, a bad person, that I'm going to somewhere else, that I belong in jail. For my own mental health and no other reason besides that, I didn't think it was necessary for me to be reading those comments at that time. So, okay, I'm a very big advocate for mental health. I had quite a few issues with a sickness phobia, which might sound a little bit random, and it came out of absolutely nowhere, so I'm coming from a place where I can sort of go some distance to understanding that. But there also comes a point where if you do something bad, you have to be able to take criticism. Otherwise you don't improve, you don't get any better. You can't not have criticism. You can't just hide from criticism. It's like Jacqueline Hill with the lipsticks. She deactivated all her accounts despite being CEO, the main person, the top woman in her company, and she just disappeared. You can't do that. The company is a private entity to you. It's a different entity. The company is a person by itself, or it's treated that way in the law. You can't just disappear. Lastly, I don't want to make this statement seem like it's me defending myself, because that is not my goal. Well, it might not have been your goal, but this is exactly what's happened, so you've scored an own goal. Because all you've done in this video, the entirety of this video, is say that you are a very good dog mum, you are a very good person, and it was an accident, and that it never happens. Well, just listen, just hear me out for a minute. If this was the first time that this has happened, and it was uncut footage, whatever, imagine this being the first time that you were caught. The first time you did it, and the first time you were caught. The odds of that happening are literally below 1 out of like 1,000. It's not a likely situation. The more likely situation is that this has been going on for quite a while, and this is how you treat your dog on a regular basis. And it just so happens that this time, the footage was uncut, you forgot to cut the footage, or whoever edits your videos forgot to cut the footage there, and the truth has finally come out. To be caught on your very first time doing something is incredibly unlikely. I'm sorry that you guys had to watch that footage and were upset by it, and I'm sorry to my dog for raising my voice and acting aggressively. There's no point apologising on here to the dog. I don't know, maybe just like improve your behaviour towards the dog, be a better dog mum. And then the dog might realise, and I don't know if a dog can accept an apology, but it might go some way to fixing the relationship. In my heart, and from the words of the people that spend the most time with me, I know that I am a great dog mum, but not perfect. That I spoil him in the best ways, that he gets all the treats he could ever want, and that the Amazon Prime mailman is probably tired of delivering packages of dog toys to my house. This is exactly the same as those parents that buy their kids lots of stuff, but don't spend any time with them. I'm getting the same sort of vibes here. And the fact that your friends or your close relatives think that you are a very good dog mum matters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because this happened behind closed doors. This happened when nobody else could see. I've no doubt you want to be liked, and you want people to think you're a good person, so you're not going to behave like that towards your dog in front of them. So that is a complete irrelevance. On a serious note, I love you guys and want to thank you for pointing out things that you think are wrong and discussing them, because the world needs more of that. But if you do that, I will just delete my social media accounts, so I can't take any criticism and I can't be held responsible. But thank you for doing it. Sort of. I hope you'll give me the chance to prove that these statements about myself do align with my actions. All my love, Brooke Houts. Now, this statement is pure, utter waffle. This statement is basically saying, I am kind of sorry, but there are reasons behind why I did that. And there is no justification for acting like that, under any circumstances, ever. Now, I got my dog, or should I say my mum, like our family got my dog, after my dad died, which some of you will be aware of, around 3 years ago from cancer. We bought him to give us something to think about. And it was incredibly, incredibly hard work. More than you could ever imagine. He was doing his business all over the floor. He was chewing his bed, his brand new bed that's like 20 or 30 pounds or $40, whatever. And it was being ruined within like hours, and it was incredibly hard work. Despite the amount of times he tried chewing my arm when he was a little boy, when he was a little dog, then it doesn't matter. He's a little dog. It needs training, it needs help. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's a wild animal. And we absolutely love him. And to see someone acting like that towards their dog is just... You can probably tell from this video, it is genuinely quite upsetting. And it takes quite a lot for me to get upset after what I said did happen to my dad. But this definitely did manage it. If you want to follow me on social media, @WadeyTC, so go and follow me on there if you fancy doing that. If not, then I hope you've enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. And I'll catch you next time.